All right. Hello, everyone, and very warm welcome. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining us from. Thank you for taking the time to be with us today. Whether you are watching us live on LinkedIn, YouTube, or Instagram, we are delighted to have you here. I am Udit Verma, co-founder and CMO of Trackier and Apptro, and today we are going to talk about a problem that almost every modern business faces, but very few organizations actually solve. The title of today's session is The Accountability Gap. Why your funnel has three owners and no single source of truth. Now, let me start with a simple question. Who owns your funnel? Marketing, sales, revenue, customer success, finance? The answer most company give us is everyone. That's exactly where the problem begins. Because when everyone owns the funnel, somebody so like sometimes nobody owns the outcome. Marketing celebrates MQLs, sales celebrates pipeline, and finance celebrates revenue. The product celebrates activation, and customer success celebrates retention. While everyone is technically right, the business still struggle to answer one simple question: what's actually driving growth? We have built more dashboard than ever before. We have CRMs, marketing automation platforms, CDPs, attribution tools, analytics platform, AI powered reporting, but somehow we have built more disagreement than ever before. One dashboard says marketing generates the customers. The CRM says sales did. Google Analytics tells a different story. Meta claims the conversion, and suddenly the meeting isn't about growth anymore. It's about whose number are correct. That's accountability gap. Today's discussion is about closing that gap, not just from a technology perspective, but from a business perspective. Because measurement isn't just about collecting data, it's about creating trust. And trust is ultimately what enables faster and better decisions. And to help us unpack this topic, I'm joined by someone who has spent a significant amount of time helping business make sense of their data. It's pleasure to welcome Nimit Chaudhary, founder and CEO of Strongmetrics. Nimit, welcome to the show. It's great to have you with us. Tell us what cool things you are doing these days at Strongmetrics.
Absolutely. Thanks, Udit, for the warm welcome. I'm very happy to be here, and I'm very happy to be speaking on a topic which is close to, I think, everybody's heart who actually loves marketing and have worked
Yep.
across cross-functional teams, right? So very happy to be here, and I would like to thank everyone for making time for this. Obviously, everybody has a busy schedule and they are here, so thanks a lot for everybody. So right now at Strong Metrics, we are working with a variety of advertisers. Now these advertisers are very futuristic, mobile-first businesses. These are also traditional legacy brands, and I feel this topic is. I think everybody struggles with the accountability gap in their own marketing journey and their growth journey. I think from our perspective, from our experiences, we can easily derive that I also thought the one of the biggest problems was measurement. But more dashboards, more attribution, better tools. But I feel right now the biggest problem is not measurement; it's more accountability. And you rightly mentioned, accountability creates trust, and trust leads to super solid decisions. Great decisions, accurate decisions will further convert into high quality growth, and I think that's what everybody is chasing, right? So that's what we are here to unpack today, and I feel as a company which works with a lot of brands on growth, Strong Metrics provides a range of solutions, and we have also started working on multiple projects which start from the first journey, which is marketing, and then goes to other teams like sales or maybe retention, and then goes on to the entire or the revenue functions where the teams demand full funnel visibility of the user, or maybe let's say in a high trust environment, it would, let's say, lead to some platform which basically gives the entire view of the user, so the decisions or the entire journey can be owned by somebody. So that's about us.
Absolutely. So really looking forward to this conversation. I think this topic couldn't be more relevant, specifically with the increasing complexity of modern marketing. So let's dive in. And let me tell you one thing. So we are, for the first time, we are trying to be on multiple screens. So we are first time doing the live on Insta, LinkedIn, and YouTube. All right. So Nimit, I would like to begin with the foundation of today's discussion. Every customer journey today passes through multiple teams. Marketing creates awareness, sales converts opportunity, customer success drives retention, revenue team tracks commercial performance. So on paper, everyone contributes to the same funnel. Yet, when targets are missed, or sometimes when targets are achieved, they're often confused about who actually owns the outcome. So marketing, sales, and revenue all touch the same funnel. So why does accountability still go missing? Is this fundamentally a people problem, a process problem, or technology problem?
Sure. It's a very valid question, and I think everybody who has joined us or will see this webinar would relate to this. So I feel this is a problem which has a lot of technical symptoms, but it's mostly, what I feel, in my opinion, is an organizational disease. I would say, or let me rephrase and say it, problems are usually more organizational than technical. I think disconnected tracking IDs, or maybe no shared identity of the same user, marketing looking at, let's say, a certain specific ID, the sales is measuring it from something else, or maybe let's say a revenue function, they treat everybody equally, not a high value user or a low value user. So everybody has their own definition. The CRM and the ad platform, there is a reporting lag, or maybe they are not talking as much they should. Um, there can be some attribution window mismatch as well. So these are practical general problems that we have encountered. The acquisition might be more, or let's say, more focused towards increasing the attribution window or lowering it, depending upon the specific goal. The CRM might treat everybody equally, not look at something which is connected directly with the acquisition. So there are definitely a lot of issues, but we feel, rather than spending a lot of money for systems to talk with each other, the organization should also spend money on ensuring the teams talk to each other more. We are trying to build dashboards which talk to each other, which communicate better, but I think organization uh, I've seen multiple organizations spend significant budgets, significant time in solving these technical issues, and the accountability gap doesn't close. I think ownership of the entire attribution, or any specific accountability with respect to who owns it or who has the last word, basically can be the first step in solving a problem like this. Hello. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So yeah.
I think bad data plumbing is just a technical problem, and however you want to technically fix it, but the accountability gap should be filled, and the organization design should be in a way that there should be a single owner for all of the data flows and all of the user flows.
That's really interesting perspective. So, Nimit, like you were working in a programmatic, and you are also owning a CDP. So, is there any thing which is connecting in this perspective?
Absolutely. So CDP, any CDP for that matter, would give a complete overview of where the user is coming from, what the incrementality is. It also leads down to other factors which will include your marketing mix modeling, the multi-touch attribution,
Yep.
which how much weightage to give to which touch. So all of that can only be possible when there is a coherent system which is made the owner, and
Mhm.
then everybody. So till the time the system doesn't break down, I think everybody is happy, right? So the usual accountability gap comes when the things go south, and once something like that happens, I think everybody should have a certain data set, or a certain platform that they need to consider as the source of truth, and I think a CDP usually plays a big role in that.
Oh, interesting. So I think like what you are saying is that ownership can't simply be shared; it has to be clear defined.
Absolutely.
Because collaboration without accountability often create ambiguity rather than the alignment.
Absolutely. Different teams have different goals, and I think if they are different teams, they have their own goals. I think they will look at the same thing and take out or have their own learnings, and there needs to be a common bridge among all the teams for it to function smoothly. Just that.
Wow. So moving on to the next question, one thing I have observed across many organizations is that teams often use the exact same terminology, yet they mean completely different things. Marketing says qualified lead, sales has another definition, operations has another, revenue teams have another. So before we even talk about attribution, are organization struggling because everyone tracks different metrics, or because everyone defines the same metric differently? Which challenge do you see more often? Are team measuring different metrics or defining the same metrics differently?
I think it's a very interesting question, and it might differ from organization to organization for sure. Uh, but if we look at a certain user journey or a customer journey, I think every team has their own specific goal. Let's say, for example, a sales team would actually look at the kind of source which resulted into a meeting. Marketing would focus on the first touch of the user, where the users actually came into the entire journey, where they are maximizing reach. uh, Finance usually would look at a closed deal, and maybe then be more interested in where which source gave them the closed deal at the lowest cost, right? So sales and finance usually own the revenue functions, and that is why they are more inclined to look things accordingly. But let's say a marketing uh, would can empower them by giving them the entire outlook of what exactly created that impact, uh, that the user actually entered their pipeline, and then sales or any other team did qualify it, and then it resulted into a conversion. So it's a it's not a although the definitions are different, I feel, but everybody assumes that they are not. So I feel uh, we need to, everybody has their, or let's say a qualified lead, for example, a qualified lead is different in terms of for a sales team it might be somebody who took a call. For marketing team it might be somebody who crossed their lead score, the threshold of lead score. Finance has everything. So I totally feel that uh, everybody is confident in their own metric, uh, but they, if the systems actually talk to each other, the translation is something that will come out to be at the top, right? So whatever is important for marketing should be important for sales, and it should trickle down to finance, and they should get a complete view of the entire thing.
So all in all, you are saying main agenda is to generate revenue. End of the story.
Absolutely. If you ask a finance guy, I think that's the right answer. In fact, everybody loves that.
So that's fascinating point. Sometimes the biggest analytic problem isn't data quality; it's language consistency.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So let's talk about what I think is the one of the most biggest operational challenges today. The CRM says one thing, Google Analytics says another. Meta reports different conversions. Your attribution per platform tells another story. Finance has its own revenue numbers. So when these systems don't agree, who should actually decide what's true? Should that responsibility sit with the marketing operations, revenue operations, the data team, finance, or does every company now need a dedicated governance function? What do you think when system disagrees? Who decides what's true?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think truth is very abstract, right? So if you look at the teams that you mentioned, I think everybody has their own version of the truth, and I feel truth needs also needs an owner with authority rather than just somebody who has access to data. So whatever team that there is, everybody has their own KPIs, everybody uh, has their own tools to look at their own data, so that their numbers look favorable, right? So that's what is very important. Marketing ops, for example, would be seen biased, I would say, when compared to marketing, or sorry, when compared to sales or finance. They usually measure everything, but they might not own because they're not closer to revenue than sales or finance. uh, Data analytics team, they are very neutral, it's all numbers for them. Let's say if it's e-commerce, they would only look at which is the highest average order value, right? Because that's money coming in, and they would just see the entire mean of the thing. But I think and they are more number neutral to numbers, which might be a good thing for them, but not exactly. They do not arbitrate anything. So that is also from their angle, right? So there should be an arbitration layer, which will own definitions, which will understand, and which will have the authority to decide for everybody. um, because as I said earlier, even if today is looking, everything is looking good, right? Revenue is growing up, nobody asks anything. But let's say if suddenly the numbers drop, then everybody is trying to shift their blame. That is a very regular thing that we see across organizations. So we would definitely, there should be a owner of the truth as well. uh, Obviously everybody has their own, coming back to the same topic, everybody has their own source of truth, but there needs to be a one final source of truth for everybody, and it should translate to each and everybody's team's KPIs.
So what you said, so being a marketing, the chief CMO at Trackier, I would not be happy with this, but that's the truth.
Absolutely,
So
you live it every day.
so this is really insightful, Nimit. So so perhaps a single source of truth isn't actually a tool, like it's a governance framework. This is what like you just said.
Absolutely, I think so. Very very, truth obviously should come with authority, uh, and and it should be applicable to everybody, and should translate, and everybody should understand that language. That's what I feel.
All right. So moving on to the like the my favorite question. So this is what like we were discussing in our like previous marketing call about the attribution, like how we can attribute the different channels. So never like beyond last click attribution, marketing has traditionally been measured using attribution, but increasingly we are hearing conversions shift towards incrementality, not just asking who got the credit, but asking, did marketing genuinely create additional business? How should organization think about proving incremental impact today? And beyond last click attribution, what does good measurement actually look like?
That's a very I think that's a very relevant question for times today. Everybody is talking about incrementality. I think a lot of people might have already started running those tests, trying to get and we have also encountered a lot of requests in terms of, and a lot of experimentation in terms of incrementality from a lot of brands already. I think in not only, and India is at par right now. Our geography is at par with almost the most advanced tier one nations in terms of these tests, and with regards to what results come out of it. So that's, I'll share my opinion, and then I would also invite you to how what you feel about it, and then we can discuss this in more detail. So
Absolutely.
I feel, last click and platform reported conversions tell you about exposures, right? Obviously, everybody has to. This is also a way that everybody has decided that this is the way that we are going to go forward. And somebody saw an ad, maybe somebody clicked, something happened afterward, but they do not tell you exactly, if this did not happen, then would that have happened? Uh, so this basically means real incremental impact would require a method. If you are not running, let's say, a specific ad, will the person would have come himself without this ad? This is the question that everybody is trying to answer, right?
Yeah.
In my previous experiences also, at an app where I was leading programmatic advertising, a lot of discussion was also on organic impact for a lot of paid media sources. And I think a lot of programmatic advertising, for that matter, actually proved very, very beneficial for that, because it usually has a lot of video advertising, which has a very high brand impact, organic impact. And for that, a lot of brands also justifies giving view through attribution to us, because they also understand that it has a certain organic impact. And people may or may not click on the ad, but they'll definitely, it would lead to them installing the app, or maybe making, let's say, a certain action on the website. So these are very, very important tests. I think holdout and geolift tests are the most direct ones, which will basically compare two different regions, where one, in one place you are spending and in the other city you're not spending, and then you compare the organic impact of that. So that is one of the popular ones out there. But also there are multiple placebo ways that you can use a control group and then use a different cohort and identify whether your activity or your marketing is actually affecting any incrementality or not. I think marketing mix modeling basically gives some sort of a statistical way of measuring, and every brand, I would say every brand has a different, and they have a right to use a different way of looking at things, because even if they are in the same category, because every brand has their own audiences, and for a certain reason, even if they are let's say working at the same price point in the same category, they can cater to different audiences. So I feel there are multiple cohort based pipeline velocity. You can use that to check, do a lighter weight check. You can compare how fast deals move, from a particular source versus untouched ones. So there are multiple ways for sure. What do I would want to hear from you as well.
Yes, absolutely. Like so, I think it's the impact of the channel. So I believe in the shared attribution model. So when I like when we do when we attribute some of the leads, then we attribute to the I think 20% to they say different channels, 30% to different channel. It depends on the impact, what type of impact that channel brings onto that particular lead. That's how we are solving the problem. We are not relying on like as per like when we run the campaign internally for Trackier or App Pro, we don't rely on the last click attribution model because it's just the reflection of all the impact that we have created with the different channels, before converting that particular client. So we personally believe in the shared attribution model.
Great, great. Yeah, absolutely. I think that has a shared attribution model or a multi-touch attribution model definitely has a greater view than the last click, and I feel this basically
Absolutely.
gives the right credit to all the sources which are involved in the customer journey.
Wow. So, but I really like the distinction that you have given us in the answer, because the attribution measures contribution, whereas incrementality measures causations.
Absolutely.
Those are very different conversations. All right. So moving on, let's move on into the partnerships, which really mattered for the app pro and tracker and for strong metrics for both the
Absolutely.
companies. So let's discuss about the affiliate marketing. So affiliate marketing, partner ecosystem, influencer campaigns, channel partnership. These channels don't always offer complete transparency. Sometimes you depend on external reporting. Sometimes you don't have access to every customer touch point. So how do you build confidence in the partner and affiliate performance when you can't fully verify the data yourself?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think we can obviously, this specific section of the discussion can also become a whole talk in itself. It has a big potential, but we'll keep it very very to the point, and
It's a topic
straight
of the
to
different webinar altogether.
the absolutely.
We'll do a separate webinar for that.
Absolutely makes sense, and I think everybody who's a stakeholder in these times in the marketing or ad tech landscape, I think can and would want to speak and share their views. I think very very important topic, and I feel so. Multiple. These are multiple channels of marketing, right? So they have their own, I would say, trust levels, or they have their own way of looking at things, their own technical abilities in terms of how they can be integrated into the entire system, what all data they hold, and what all data they can also pass, right? So it is a mix, I think, of all these things.
Yep.
And I think the first level starts with you allowing or you inviting your partner to share their numbers. I think that is the best way forward. That here you understand what they are reporting, whether it makes sense for you. You check your own internal systems and then make a decision based on that. I think that is the first way of looking at it. Maybe in the mid level you can look at UTM sources. You can look at using third party measurement platforms. You can use tracking platforms to basically and let's say get a third person's POV of what's going on, what's happening, and whether it's making sense for you guys. So all of that. And I think at the highest level, it would be, let's say, a server to server sort of a integration, where once your server reports a conversion, you give a thumbs up, and then it gets reported to the other parties, where you are the owner of the entire value chain. So I think these are the ways uh, of looking at things. But I feel, and if in reality also is what we have experienced, that you don't really need to verify an entire channel to fund it, right? It should,
Yep.
it you can allocate different budgets accordingly, and that's what we feel a lot of brands do. If they limit their funding to a specific channel, if they are not very confident, or if there is not no trust. But I think if it is working out for you, you can continue to fund it. Understand, in the end, you know solving their data problem or solving their tech issues is not what you have to deal with. Obviously everybody has their own ways. If it is working out for you, you should move forward with it. And maybe if there are better versions or better tools available which are more coherent with your systems, I think you can increase funding there. So that's what I think.
And Nimit, like you also work with AppTro, so does this kind of platform help you in generating the confidence among the partners? You
So
work with AppTro, Trackier. I think you already have a glance of the the platforms.
absolutely. So, we have worked with multiple variety of platforms, but I think AppTrove and Trackier, they stand out definitely in understanding what the actual requirement is, and then helping out the advertiser or a brand in solving that and ensuring that there is a high trust environment. In the end, everybody is limited, whatever, everybody is working with their limitations. So whatever channel that is sending traffic or is bringing users or whatever is the assignment, right? If it also depends upon their capability of doing those or matching those integrations and then providing all of that data. But I think as a tool, Aptrove has now already established. I feel they've already established a certain benchmark in terms of creating that high trust environment, and which basically leads to a lot of accurate decisions on the advertiser end.
So that's not a sponsored post. I think like you have given us the reason to
No,
to do the advertisement on this.
no, absolutely. I think I have experienced it myself, so I can definitely recommend Aptrove to any of the partners who's looking out.
Perfect, perfect. All right, thanks a lot. Thanks for mentioning about AppPro, Nimit. All right. So moving on to the other questions that we were discussing earlier, like so we were talking about the three metrics. So if matrices, if marketing was judged on three matrices,
Hmm.
if tomorrow morning that you had to remove every marketing dashboard,
Hmm.
every vanity metric, every platform specific KPI, and you could judge marketing on only two or three metrics that generally reflect business impact, which metrics would you keep and why those specifically?
Right. So if it were to me, I would pick the three matrices, and those three would be revenue, revenue, revenue. But but we live in a realistic world, so I feel the first could be a marketing sourced and marketing influence pipeline, right? So every team has, I think they exist in the entire system because of the value add they create, right? Everybody is important, and that's what leads to make a big organization, or an organization a great organization. So marketing definitely is the most important. It's the face of your brand, and if you empower it, I think they can do wonders, and they've always doing wonders. So it marketing sourced or marketing influence pipeline is can be the first one, in is what I feel. The second could be the pipeline velocity, or how fast they can, from the first impression served to a user to conversion, how fast a marketing can accelerate that. That is really really important. Time is money, and we feel that every brand should fasten it. So coming back to our first, just touching upon the first question, a platform where you can have an overview of the entire journey can help you out in that. Or
Yep.
let's say any platform, let's say at strong metrics we help advertisers accelerate that by including analysis from the beginning of the journey, and then creating a lookalike audiences for the users, and that basically accelerates the entire thing. So we also look at day zero conversions, and we prioritize users accordingly. So that is very important, and I feel this can be the second point of for this question. The third
So
would be, yeah,
yeah,
you're saying.
please go ahead, sir.
Okay. So the third point is having a ROAS focused outlook. So in programmatic advertising specifically, because we are doing that a lot, we have seen advertisers giving up by looking at a certain specific. This is a very mobile specific example, but let's say if as a brand, if I see a CPI or a cost per install of 100 rupees, I will stop that channel right away because I'm not used to seeing that, right? But I ask all my brands, what if that user basically buys something for 5,000 rupees? That's a 50x ROAS. So I try to help them or enable advertisers by making them look at how much they invested and how much they are taking out of it as a channel, rather than focusing on vanity metrics like CPI, CPR, all of that, right? So in the end, money earned should be higher than money spent. So that's should be the third one.
Absolutely. So that's a true voice from the CEO coming up. Because you just emphasize on revenue. So this is not the market yet. That's a CEO's in voice. CEO's inner voice.
And not only my revenue but also their revenue, right? So that is also important.
Perfect. So I think like I think that's really useful exercise to do, because sometimes simplifying measurement actually improves the accountability.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Nimit, like one challenge I have personally seen, finance wants precision, sales wants speed, marketing wants flexibility. Each team has completely valid objectives, but those prioritized often create friction. So how do you keep all three aligned without creating bottlenecks?
uh, Absolutely, absolutely. Very interesting question. I think, why, I would want to hear from you. Let's say in a line, what are your thoughts, and probably then I can share mine.
So I think like for me as a CMO, like I'll go with the finance. I'll go bottom to top. I'll ask the finance how much revenue we have generated. Then go to the market, then the sales, then marketing. That's how I'll follow the framework.
Great, great. So I'll that's what we also do. In a way, the rhythm that has worked for us has three layers in total, right? And
Absolutely, because if the revenue is the major part, like when you're running the marketing campaigns, revenue is what like we aim for.
absolutely, absolutely, and that's the most important money spent, right? So
Yeah.
it has to generate revenue. So great. Same as I was mentioning, same for us. The rhythm that has worked for us mostly has three layers. It is looking at different layers work on different speeds. So I would say, if you look at weekly level data, you can look at monthly level data, and you can look at quarterly level data. Everybody is using that, I feel, in a way. You can look at shared dashboards on a marketing and sales perspective,
Yep.
right? We
Yep.
keep finance on a much more broader or granular level, uh, because everything matures, and in the end, it should make sense to finance, right? So they are involved from the very beginning, but on a monthly basis, we help them, or they get involved at a very deeper level. So
No.
that's that. And on quarterly level, I think it's they take over really, and then they are the ones who uh, forecast, or they put out budgets, or they whether in terms of revenue, right? They tell whether it was a success or not. In the end, experimentation is great, but not only experimentation, right? We have to also start generating revenue out of it. So what you said, right? In the end, it should make financial sense, and making financial sense would also give us more room for experimentation and the things we love. So that's that.
I really like that, like because alignment isn't about everyone's working the same way. It's about everyone trusting the same framework.
Right, right. That's true.
All right. So let's finish this with a special practical. Suppose a company watching today says
Mm-hmm.
we have unclear ownership, our metrics aren't aligned, our partners reporting isn't reliable. If a company has unclear ownership, inconsistent metrics, and poor partner visibility, what's the first thing they should fix in the next 90 days and why?
I think very very important. It's all about prioritizing, right? So as a business owner, I would want to do everything in parallel, right? And do try to solve everything, but I think that would lead to solving nothing. So I think prioritization is a prioritization problem, if anything else. So I think I feel that in the first month we will have to start defining, what is qualified lead. We are using these terms again so that everybody is able to correlate. So creating shared definition, creating the umpire, what is closed, what is not closed, what, or basically defining the entire success, so that everybody refers to that. Otherwise the same thing will happen. Every team will run to their goalposts, and the entire system will not talk to each other. So a shared vision, I feel, for a team, for a company, for a brand, everything is very important. So the first 30 days are to decide the foundation of it. I think the next 30 days can be now ownership days, and you can keep or give accountability to people, to systems, to metrics, however you want to
Yep.
define it, however your business requires it. And I think setting the goalpost concretely is what is the next step. The third month, I think, would be again setting up systems which will then talk. They will go to the knowledge hub from the first 30 days. They will go to the accountable leads, or the people who are accountable, the system there, which were created in the next 30 days. And they will start reporting and talking to each other. I think this is a way where the first 90 days can be planned. And I feel, this is my personal opinion, we should fix definitions before we fix systems or dashboards. So if definitions are on point, everybody is talking in the same language, I think, and that would lead to a lot of, I would say, better dashboards thereafter.
I think like whosoever like is struggling with these inconsistency got an idea about their next 90 days, what to do in next 90 days.
I hope so, absolutely.
So well, Nimit, this has been an incredible, insightful conversation. If I had to summarize today's discussion, I would probably leave our audience with the five key takeaways. First, accountability doesn't fail because too many people are involved. It fails when ownership isn't clearly defined. Second, data problems are often defined problems before they are technology problems. Third, a single source of truth is less about software and more about governance, consistency, and agreed business rules. Fourth, marketing should increasingly be measured by business outcomes, not just campaign performance or attribution reports. And finally, trust is trust in data is ultimately what enables trust in decisions. Because at end of the day, companies don't win by having more dashboards. They win by having fewer arguments about what the dashboard actually means. Nimit, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure to have you in this webinar, and I truly appreciate you sharing your experience and perspective with our audience. So now we would love to hear from everyone who joined us live. If you have any question for either of us, please drop them into the comments, whether it's about attribution, marketing measurement, data governance, analytics, or building accountable revenue team. We'll try to answer as many as questions as we can over the next few minutes.
So I think
Yes, do we got the question?
Yes, we have one on Instagram.
okay.
Post it on this meeting. Post it. Oh, great channel, Instagram. So the experimentation, we did the experimentation. I think it's successful.
Very nice. Just till the time that question comes, here outside. So I just want to add that these accountability gaps are all structural for organizations, right? Nothing personal for anybody. That's how systems are designed, and I think systems are just systems, not people. So I think communication would solve a lot of these stuffs.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can create n number of dashboard, but the communication matters a lot.
Absolutely, unless the teams are talking. That's true.
Absolutely, it's true.
It's there in the chat.
I can. Yes. If you had to fix one thing first, data quality, KPI alignment, or team ownership to reduce the accountability gap, which would you prioritize and why?
This is for me. I should take it
Yes,
up.
for you. Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I think out of data quality, KPI alignment, or team ownership, I feel team ownership is something that needs to be solved first. The accountability, obviously, if the team if the team owns the system, I think everything else can be sorted. You might have, let's say, superior high quality data. You might have KPI alignment or not, but if the team is not taking the ownership of the system, of the source of truth, and ensuring that the data is being translated into insights, and then insights are being used by any other team to make that decision, I think unless that happens, uh, I think nothing will work well. So team owner should be first. I think data quality should be the second one. KPI alignment obviously can come third. I think first two are like hygiene factors.
Absolutely. I think I agree with what you said. But I feel data quality can comes to the second.
Very close second.
Yes, absolutely perfect. So we got one more question. How can smaller marketing teams with limited budget create a reliable single source of truth where they are using multiple tools like Google Analytics, a CRM, and ad platform?
That's a realistic. Although, do you want to just add on first?
I think so. I'll answer this. So I feel that you have to use the multiple like tools like multiple platforms like Google Analytics and CRM and the platform because you have to get to the single source of truth. I feel maybe uh, I'm from the platform side, so I'll prefer Appro and the third party tools over the other tools because these tools we use because of the because to get to the single source of truth, and that's how we market ourselves.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I don't want to make it a sponsored post. That's why I don't want to go
No,
for.
I also feel the same. I second you. And let's say if you're using a tool that is for some reason, right? So if I'm using Appro,
Absolutely.
and I'm using it for some reason to solve a certain problem. So I need to ensure that I work with the tool and use the strength of the tool to make decisions, right? And then obviously every tool will have its own way of, but you need to identify and create one source of truth, maybe, and make somebody accountable. And I think that will solve a lot of problems.
I think that is why we exist.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right.
Great.
We are getting more questions. I think Anurag
Okay.
is typing.
Yeah.
So Pratham first. So, what's the common question? What's the common reason marketing teams struggle to trust their own performance data?
Should I?
Yeah, Nimit, like go ahead. Like I think this is like more for you.
Yeah. So, I think the most common reason is, they don't trust because different system reports different numbers, and that is why they are not able to, let's say, go with only one, right? So, and this is because different teams have their own goals and their own tools. So that is why everybody is focusing on their number, right? So as we mentioned, marketing basically wants, if their KPI, or let's say uh, their success comes from the number of leads generated, for example, after above a certain threshold, they would only focus in increasing that. Sales would only focus on uh, sales would only focus on the number of calls that happened and how many were interested, how many were not. Finance would actually see how many sales happened, right? So everybody has their KPI. So as we mentioned in the webinar, I think one coherent umpire across all teams, or one coherent platform, should ingest all this data and then say, this is the final output. And I think that should make everybody trust the performance data. Although, do you want to
I'll
add
I,
anything?
I'll add on like some sort of so you just mentioned about revenue because sometimes you generate the lead as a marketing person and it doesn't reflect to the revenue part.
Right.
So that's why the the data itself of marketing got questionable. So that's why we question the marketing performance data because it
Right.
doesn't match to the revenue stream.
Right. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
Anurag asked how we see future of ad tech. Your views on OpenAI ads.
I think you should take this, Sudhir.
I
You
think so it's just a evolution of it will be a evolution of the Google ads. So instead of the running display ads, you can run the ads on OpenAI, and everyone is using OpenAI, the ChatGPT, the platform like ChatGPT and Claude. So it will be useful, yes.
Absolutely. I second that. I feel they are definitely now, some sort of a transition has happened. Rather than opening Google, there are
Yes.
certain percentages people open
It's
Claude or even
just
OpenAI.
it's just another platform for you to drive the revenue from.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Attention is shifting there. Yes.
Perfect. So we got one more question on Insta. It will be a last question for us. So
Okay.
why do some companies spend heavily on acquisition but underinvest in retention?
So, well, I think this is a very good. So we work with a lot of acquisition based marketing, and and we feel, so there are two ways of looking at this. They spend heavily on acquisition because acquisition is expensive. As simple as that. Getting somebody to purchase for the first time is very difficult and it takes more money than retaining the same person and making him do the second purchase. So the economies में ही difference है. Let's say by a thumb rule, one third of your lifetime value, usually brands invest one third of that into acquiring a user. Retention probably doesn't have that much budget, so वो खर्चते ही नहीं है. So one view can
Absolutely.
be, and second view can be, but I feel now businesses are above that and they're more intelligent. And with the onset of AI, they are now using a lot of AI enabled systems to personalize the experiences. And definitely any brand who's a big brand, who's a successful brand, has worked on retention and invested equal amount of money in retaining a customer and creating systems and experiences which will retain the customer. So if somebody is not investing in retention, I think they are setting up for a failure. Is what I feel.
Absolutely. So I agree with your point, Nimit. Like anyone, like we also do the same in SaaS. So we also follow the same. And apart from the retention, we spend heavily on experience. and
Right.
that's why we are implementing more and more technology in the platform.
Right. Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
I think
So
the questions are over.
yes, so thank
So,
you once again, everyone, for joining us today. If you found this discussion valuable, please share it with your colleagues, your marketing teams, your sales leaders, and anyone responsible for growth and revenue. These are conversations every modern business need to have. I am Udit Verma from Actro and Trackier. Thank you, Nimit, for joining us, and thank you to everyone watching. We'll see you in the next session. Until then, keep asking better questions, build system your team can trust, and remember, real growth begins with accountability. Have a clear owner. Thank you so much.
thank you, guys. Thank you.